Gym City Market is a fix for a food desert in Dayton.
Yeah, so some people don't realize that Dayton is actually #1 in the nation for being a food desert. So Dayton, Ohio proper, Dayton city limits proper, which is confusing for a lot of people because all of the suburbs around it, can qualify as Dayton for the mailing service. But actually, we know there's a big difference in Beaver Creek or Centerville versus Dayton, right?
Yeah, and so a food desert is basically defined as as a food grocery store, so like fresh meat, fruit, veggies are not available within a so-mile radius, and I believe it's like 2 miles or something like that.
Right, and so we know that there used to be a Kroger over there in that area.
And so the area that we're talking about is like West Dayton.
West Dayton, Salem Avenue, just west of the downtown metro area. And this was a similar location where they didn't have a hospital, when Good Samaritan was knocked down over there in that area.
Yeah, but I think the food desert goes all the way out basically to Trotwood.
It does. It does. And so it's a big area that's included in that, a large population of our viewership. And so what we wanted to do was just talk about what Gym City Market has tried to do since 2015, since their implementation, where they are currently. And just because there's so much talk right now, not only about the need, we've just gotten out of the holidays where people needed, assistance or just wanted access to food. People just want to have, if you think about, is your grocery store stop at a Dollar General or a Family Dollar? Is that giving you access to fresh produce? Is that giving you access to options for meat?
Have you ever been to a Dollar General market, though, in the South?
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different.
Totally different than the ones
Yes.
we have here that look like they're in a barn.
Well, it's like, yes. Can you go to a convenience store and pick up bread and milk and all of that? Yes. Speedway all around, whatever. We used to have 7-Eleven. So there are stops like that. But that is not, when we talk about grocery shopping, that's not your #1 choice, right?
Yeah, and it goes back to fresh meat, fruit, veggies. Because I feel like there's a lot of processed food, especially in lower income areas. And your body really needs the fresh stuff.
Right. And so when you are talking about affordability and access, right, then how do you get those two things to mean the same thing? And if I only have $100 this week that I can buy groceries with, and there's 7 days in a week, if it's just me, I could probably make that manage. But if it's me and 3 kids, which, was me,
Yeah.
then that's a totally different story. What
And
are you
that's why
doing?
you see a lot of like TikTok influencers doing like dinners, 5 dinners for $20.
Yep.
Or dinners on a budget, or Dollar Tree dinners, or, that type of food where you take that money and stretch it.
Right.
And then you're not spending $60, $70 on one meal.
And look, if you're in this position, there is no judgment. We have all been there, will be there, or whatever, we've come through it.
Yeah.
The point is that if you use a box item in order to then take your fresh meat and then add a salad, that is absolutely capitalizing on what you can to say make the most of a lower cost product.
Yeah, like some steak Alfredo.
Yeah, I mean,
Chicken Alfredo.
hamburger helper went a long way for a lot of people, right?
Oh, I don't do hamburger helper. But
You can spice that up and do
I
all
do
kinds
that
of
or
stuff with
crock
it.
pot. Blech.
My kids are turned off of soups. It's like, I love soups.
I'm not a
but they're-
soup person.
Yeah, they're not soup people either. I'm like,
No,
what?
except for that soup at Doubledays, the chicken and pasta soup.
Yeah.
That's delicious. I've tried
But-
to get the recipe. So if you know the recipe, please put it in the comments. Anyway, okay, so we're back to talking about Gym City Market. And the original idea was to put this grocery store in, and it was to get rid of the food desert and food insecurity in that area of town.
Right, and what it did was, and because I remember, I admitted, or I participated in that early membership where they were saying open to the general public to be a member to help us get off the ground and open our doors, right? And so it was $100 for a membership.
Yeah.
Doesn't get you any discounts, doesn't do anything. It just basically gave them funds to start building this process out.
So when I heard about the membership, and this is a couple years into it, they were advertising it as kind of like a Kroger Plus card.
Yeah.
So if you were a member, you would get a little bit of a discount. So instead of apples being $1, they were 95 cents.
Okay, so they did add a benefit there.
Yeah.
But this started in 2015, and at that time they did get some initial funding from not only the community, from people in the area, but from businesses. And so that organized as a co-op of Dayton, it's a nonprofit cooperative development. CareSource was one of the big funders into that. And there was some grant money that they received from federal funds as well. And so from 2015, fast forward, here we are in 2026. The latest updates that I saw as far as how things were going, 2024, 2025 year for them, they were struggling a little bit because they weren't getting consistent use of the facility, meaning the public isn't going back every week to do their grocery shopping. So the people that they were serving were still either one, not able to do it, or finding other sources. And so that is a little bit of a, how do you have food accessibility that's affordable, fresh, and healthy options for people if it isn't funded by some source or getting actively accessed?
So this is one of the hot topics that we talked about when the Gem City Market was coming, when the development was happening. And we said the only way to fix food insecurities is a free grocery store. And that is exactly what we opened in Northridge, is a free grocery store that is funded through the food bank. It's also funded by private donors. We go out, we buy food, we get donations, and then we have families that can come in and shop for what they want. It's set up just like a grocery store. You have aisles, you have, canned goods. Then the next is bread. You have gluten-free stuff. The only way to fix food insecurities is the free store, where they do not have a single dollar to pay when they check out.
So that started when?
We opened in 2022,
Okay.
I believe. And right now we're trying to get funding to expand, because we have people that want to utilize the free store, but they can't because we're full. We're serving 50 families a day. And, there's only so many. We want to be able to make sure that those families, and they can come once a week, are able to utilize and continue to utilize, instead of, now you can only come once every 2 weeks because, we've got double the people.
Right.
So that's kind of our struggle here. There's also a free grocery store that's modeled after in Nashville. And then there was two others at the time in 2022 when we were developing and opening this, that we kind of modeled them after. And I know the one in Nashville is funded by Brad Paisley, the country artist.
Nice.
So, and I know, back to kind of the food desert area, Homeful just opened up a grocery store also in this area.
So that was my question. Do you think that Gem City Market itself is struggling a little bit because other avenues are being opened up? Now, Northridge to West Dayton, Trotwood area is a 12-mile difference, right? Not really big, but same thing.
But when you don't have a
drive
car,
that? Yeah.
when you don't have a car and you're riding the bus, which means you can only take whatever you can carry
Yep.
on the bus, in your backpack, on your little
Yeah.
cart or whatever, or you're getting your friend to drop you off and pick you up. I think that the Gem City Market is just serving that population that's right around there.
Yep. Well, and that's the other aspect is, community gardens has been a big push. There have been multiple ways that people have tried to say, let's have neighborhood gardens that are cooperative. People from the community can buy or grow and then, barter, do whatever, right? If I'm growing the carrots and you have the lettuce, then let's swap them out or whatever. But at least having that fresh produce in a way that is community driven and available. You and I do a lot of traveling, and so not to compare another country or anything like that, but I think we can learn a lot from a lot of other places that may have already had struggles and come through it, and what was their solution for it, right? Mm-hmm. Many people have their own gardens. And I think we've seen a big change to that. I know a lot of people, when they're looking for houses, are looking for enough land where they can have a garden. But the bigger thing is that most of those communities, or a lot of those communities, have little shop at grocery stores on, if not every block, every other block. Because, they live vertically, so there's a lot of people within a block area, and they've got to be able to do, and so they're not going, and we're Americans, we are oversized and big, upsized, whatever the word is. Supersize me. That we want to do a week's worth of shopping, or we do a month's worth of shopping, and then we've got to have the bigger fridge and all the cabinets and all this stuff.
The Costco and the Sam's.
That's different there. They have a small little kitchen, and they buy daily what they need, and so they get their fresh bread and they get their fresh produce, and they go back and they make a great meal, and it's like so much healthier.
But, okay, like look at New York City. You're walking home, you walk right past the bodega, you go in, you get your stuff, you go home, you make it. Where here, we drive.
Yes.
Highways. We don't always go past a grocery store. So it's just kind of a different lifestyle.
It is. And it's a different mindset, obviously. But if we're talking about a food desert location, how many vacant lots are in this area? There's a number of them.
Mm-hmm.
Could there be community gardens that could be created that would give access to produce? Absolutely. Could those community gardens then provide produce to Gem City Market? Certainly.
Maybe. Because
we've talked
then
about
you
that.
have grocery store like standards
Yeah.
that they have to have. So I don't know.
Well, and so our friend from God's Grace,
With God's
they
Grace, yeah.
do take donations from individuals, right? If they had leftover eggs or
Yeah, but
produce
they're not
or
buying
what.
it.
They're not buying it.
Which is kind of different.
So, but if you have a community garden, you wouldn't be necessarily selling it to the market, but you would have access. I think the big thing is that you just don't want the waste. Like
Yeah.
if you have a garden and you're not able to eat it all, then would you be able to, are there places you can give that food and donate it?
True.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Give it to your neighbors.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see the state of Gem City Market moving forward because of their financial issues. I mean, I think that the city of Dayton just needs to pony up and back them.
Well, and so again, it's kind of like our property tax conversation. If people are in need and this is what they're crying out for, then are they supporting it, right? Are you doing the vote? Are you going to the grocery store that's in your area that you have fought hard to get and now you only go once a month? That's the issue that Gem City is saying, is that the Gem City Market is saying, is that we just need people consistently coming here
Yeah.
so that we can show that we're a viable option for people so that they can keep the food and cycle through it. I mean, it's not, I know there's a Dots Market that came over into Centerville, and they were normally in Bellbrook and over in East Dayton.
Yeah.
And I thought, great, this would be so handy. Yeah, it's handy. That's not necessarily a good thing, though, because it's like, why am I going to the store every other day?
Yeah.
So again, that mindset.
Well, then you have Dorothy Lane Market that's expanding.
Yep.
They're going, what, into Mason or?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
They're
they've
going
already done-
south.
yeah.
Yeah. So there are grocery store expansions. You just
Right.
need to be utilized by the people that they're serving.
Well, and I know that was the big thing for Kroger on Wayne Avenue. Well, that was a big dispute when they were saying that they were going to leave the area.
The
Then
Freddie
you would have,
Kroger?
you would have had a secondary desert area.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have a grocery store downtown. That's close enough to being downtown, 5 minutes that you could get there.
But if it's without that, if it's not within that mile zone, then it classifies.
And like you said, if you're walking or taking the bus, then that's a
Yeah.
different story too.
And that's why you see a lot of pantry handout pop-ups from the Dayton Food Bank or from other churches that are going into these food desert areas and then doing a handout.
yeah.
I know With God's Grace does them, but even their funding is getting cut from a federal level.
So that's the thing. Then we have a great source of foundation support in our communities. You know, Dayton Foundation and a lot of benefactors that come from some of our bigger corporations that are here. Target Dayton is ministry service that they also do meals and things like that.
Yeah.
There are lots of ways, but if you are of the giving heart and you have the time, there's places where you can volunteer, donate. Make sure that, you know, actively there are choices and options available for people. Sometimes it may just be an issue of timing fallen on hard times, government shutdown happens, how do you make ends meet? Single income family with children, definitely struggling, and so while we try to talk about all of these things, we try to at least give you some options that there are programs or opportunities out there. We are certainly wanting to make sure that everybody is getting information that they need. So if you are in a community and you know of a food pantry or you know of a grocery source, any of these things that would benefit somebody who's struggling, please put it below in our comments and we'll be happy to share that information as well.
Yeah, and if you are looking for those resources, you can always call 211 and they will answer and let you know what is closest to you that is available.
Thanks. Thanks for joining us today on the Real Tea Podcast. If you enjoyed the knowledge and entertainment today, please subscribe and share with your friends. We will be embarking on a journey that bridges the gap between realtors and clients, uncovering the heart and tea of real estate.